This Strangeathon, we're bringing the 80s back by reading Nothing But Point Horrors, which is the 90s. Hello strangers, I'm H. Havana and welcome to the Strangeathon October edition. So, the Strangeathon is happening in our home month of Halloween. So the October session is a little bit different from all the other sessions of Strangeathon, which have been, this is the 4th one, but I don't really count, I count in seasons. The challenges have already been announced on Twitter, and Twitter is probably the best place to get immediate updates. This video was meant to go up sooner. The challenges were meant to go up sooner, but you know me. I've not really been filming stuff, but challenges still happened. The actual challenges went up late because I got stung here. I got stung here, and then a cat scratched me right here on my thumb, so I couldn't draw. I killed the wasp. The cat lives. So this Strangeathon, we'll be going trick-or-treating. So basically what that means is that every challenge has a corresponding house, except for the F-up, because, I mean, the F-up is basically you went and knocked on the wrong door. So, I can't draw every F-up. Also, laziness / time was an issue, even though I'd been planning to do this for months. Life. Also, I'm the only one that actually does anything. By the way, that's my co-host, Stella. She kind of just stands. She doesn't say or do much. She's really just there for moral support / being a logo. So each challenge has a corresponding house. There is 13 houses / challenges. And you can knock on many houses as you want, like trick-or-treating. So if there's a challenge and you just like, oh, I don't like that challenge at all, you don't have to do it. It's up to you. So the uniform will be going from the 13th of October to the 31st, aka Halloween. So that's 2 full weeks and 5 days. The Strangeathon is starting this Saturday. Woo! Saturday. That's how calendars work. The challenges are numbered, so let's just get into them with their houses. So the first challenge is definitely time. Read a book where death plays a big part. So, like always, the challenges are meant to be twisted a little bit. Some are more specific than other ones, but this one is a challenge you can totally twist and is accidentally similar to past challenges. Accident. I like death. So, like I said, this is basically twistable. It can be death is actually a character, which is like few books I know of where that's the case. No wait, there's 4 books. So it can be basically grief / just death, where a character is dealing with death, can play a big part. I have tons of good grief book recommendations. Sadie by Courtney Summers is like the top one off my head. Also, that has a murder. So it can just be like where someone dying affects the whole plot or the root of the whole book as well. I Give You Sundays with Death. A lot of Cat Hearts books deals with death, specifically Girlhood, Far From You by Tess Strap. Also really good book about grief. That's a few, and I'll have other books where someone dies, but like there's other stuff going on. So the second challenge is filler killer. Read a book that's a filler. So this is basically what your definition of a filling book is. I know people have different ones because it's kind of definitions. Usually it's just like mystery, often murder or extreme danger to the main character. So in terms of them, there's like people like me, Karen Slaughter, Sadie, I guess by Courtney Summer, could kind of been argued as a filler. Dead Silent by Silent Jones, Silent Saturday by Helen Grant, which is part of the Forbidden Spaces trilogy by her, which also has a serial killer in it. 13 Minutes by Sarah Paxton is a great YA thriller as well. And there's like Karen Rose, there's a ton of thrillers, guys. You know, I read tons of thrillers, but I just like don't put them in my mind a lot. So this is really easy one if you like thrillers, but if you don't have to, like I said, all these challenges are meant to kind of be options, so you can just walk past that house if you want to. If the candy doesn't look good to you, just go by if you want to. So the third challenge is Halloween Icon. Read a book with something iconic to Halloween on the cover. So my initial idea for this challenge was pumpkin. To make you read a book with a pumpkin on the cover, because I have a book that has a pumpkin on the cover and it's called Trick or Treat something, and I honestly bought it because it was Halloween themed and it's a thriller. So yeah, so I thought that was a bit hard and specific and basically means I'm telling everyone to just read point horrors. So instead I thought I would open it up a bit. So read a book that has something that when you think of Halloween you immediately think of. Witches, vampires, ghosts, bat cats. So bat cats is actually going to make this challenge pretty easy. A lot of spooky books, or just books in general, have bat cats on them. In terms of new releases, City of Ghosts by B.E. Swabs. Both editions that I've seen of this book have a bat cat on it. The UK edition even has bats on the side. Also in terms of bats, every Batman comic ever. It's pretty easy if you're a Batman fan, I guess. In the Shadows of a Blackbird by Cat Winter has a ghost on the cover. Coraline by Neil Gaiman, most editions have the bat cat that features in the pot on the cover. And a book that recently came out is Sheets by Bendler Furman, and this is a graphic novel that has a ghost on the cover. So I'm hoping that this one will be easy enough for you to figure out something to read, like, because I thought, you know, pumpkin would be too specific, but if I'm young and you know of like tons of books with pumpkins on the cover, I want that Goodreads list. And gently, so comment down below. The fourth challenge is the Stella Special. So guess off the title. So this is the challenge that Stella came up with by herself, and it's to read a book that has part of a skeleton on the cover. So I'd say part of a skeleton to make it easy, or instead of this, maybe just a skull. Vicious by V.E. Swab has editions that has like skeleton hands on it. Like a lot of books have skulls on it, like Devotion by Barbara Sennett. That's not a good book. The Whispering Skull by Veneration Shaw. That's a sequel, so also not great. But, and I thought of this one, if you can manage to find a book cover that has someone smiling on it, this is part of your skeleton. Teeth are part of skeletons, so if you can just find a book that has someone smiling on it, there you go. But I'm sure like there is a few books with skeletons on it. But if you like know of some fantastic book with skeletons on a cover, please tell Stella. It's the only book she'll read. It's all she cares about. She's very vain. Also feel free to share any of your recommendations, they'll come in handy for someone. The fifth challenge is Summer Slasher. So this is to read a book set in summer. And I know this is kind of weird for October, but it's actually kind of like a trend challenge with a challenge that was in the summer session of the Strangeathon, which was to read a book that you've been saving for October, because you know, you should read spooky books all year round, and it bugs me the fact that people will save all their creepy books for October and then they won't read them all, because like nobody works that way. Like, read creepy books all year round, especially because a lot of books and creepy stuff, like a lot of horror films are set during summer, basically because Friday the 13th series is like all set in summer and there's so many of them. like 11 at least. And that has nothing to do with the inspiration for the house. No. Didn't base it on anything that had anything to do with that series. No, I did not. So in terms of suggestions for this, a lot of the Red Eye books, which is a series of YA horror books, a lot of them are set during the summer. Frozen Charlotte, which is probably the biggest one of that series, you'll probably heard of that one. That one's set in summer. I actually think The Haunting by Eric Spell is also set in summer. Sleepless by Lil Morgan is set in summer. Savage Island by Sharon Gosling, which is probably one of the weaker ones, but that's also set in summer, and you might like that if you're really into gory stuff. I am not. I find it boring. But that might be your type of horror. I have reviews of all the Red Eye books, so you can check that down below. The appearance of Annie Van Sinra by Kathleen Howe is also set in summer. It's actually set during a film school kind of summer session of I think it's when University of New York or New York University, whatever that is. You know, the iconic one. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I set these challenges and then I don't think about how am I gonna know what book is set during summer, so I'm gonna do a bunch of guesswork. I'll figure something out. I should have some horror book that's set during summer. Ooh, I think I've got a book that's set during camp. Yeah, I think I'll work something out. I think that campfire book came out recently, must be set during summer, because like who goes camping in winter? Unless you live in California or somewhere like that. So the 6th challenge is Horror Monster. Read a book with a character that's often found in horror as the villain. So they don't necessarily have to be the villain of this book, but like you could in theory watch a horror film where they are the villain. So that includes serial killers, politicians, zombies, businessmen, vampires, just general sea monsters, Nessie, you know, that kind of thing, like, you know, sure, like, I don't know why I can't, like, think of any other monsters. Werewolves, I guess, sometimes it's a killer, like, you know, sometimes, usually though, like, the werewolves is kind of like, it's a curse, and the person who actually is the werewolf is like a tragic killer, but they must die, is actually not a tragic killer. The person who's actually a werewolf is like seen as the tragic figure, but they must die to save everyone else or spread the curse, and they can't do that because they're so good inside. That's the usual way. Also evil dolls. Frozen Charlotte has that. I like evil dolls. 7. Gives chills. Read a book with something that freaks you out. So this one is basically pick a book that like, or something that scares you, or just like, you have maybe like a slight phobia, but like, you know, not major. It doesn't like have to be anything major. This is what I call a challenge I didn't think through for myself, because like, I'm not really scared of much. Usually anytime I come across anything that even slightly freaks me out, like, I don't know, like one time I was reading just like this random old cannibal book, and the thing that freaked me out was the fact that she ate his foot, and like described how disgusting his foot was. I'm like, why did you eat that? Like, no. Ugh. Because it had like fungus on it, so like, no. Foot fungus. Turns out that's where I draw the line. A book's like, oh sure, kill and eat your husband, but no, his foot. No, that's the thing that freaks me out. I know Mindy Grant had a new book about like sea and maybe mermaids, evil mermaids, that apparently really triggers like if you're scared of the sea and like open spaces or like isolation, apparently that'll get you. Also, mermaids count as horror monsters because classic horror monsters. The 8th challenge is Tales from the Grave. Read a short story collection. So I guess you can cheat this if you really want. Basically, I like short story collections, and I feel horror goes really well with short stories sometimes. I would recommend Slasher Girls and Monsters Boys, which is an anthology of like horror stories. I feel like it was meant to be based on like different old stories. Some you can really tell. Most of them are really good. There's like one I think that was really bad when I read it, but like other people like it. So, opinions. And Through the Woods by Emily Carl is also really good. That's a graphic novel, but like graphic novel short stories totally count. Graphic novels would count probably as like if you did want to twist this into a novel. Most graphic novels are probably kind of like almost short enough to do it, but also like pictures say 1,000 words, so I guess they're not. So the 9th challenge is setting fun. Read a book set in a creepy location, aka graveyards. This is also basically, this is an edition of Graveyard Fun, and I know in like setting fun I should have probably called it something else, but like I wanted it to go along with Graveyard Fun. So in terms of recommendations, I have a list of books that have graveyards in them, and you'll be surprised randomly where graveyards show up in books. So like there's a list that exists, you can check it out if you want. So books that have like other creepy settings. For by Sharon Gosling is like got woods and like a creepy house. Frozen Charlotte and Charlotte Stays by Alex Bell and also fit this challenge because they're set on an isolated island surrounded by cliffs and in a creepy old Victorian house, so would fit. The Mad Men's Daughter trilogy like has creepy settings in every book. The Creeper Man and The Dead House by Dawn Cushion. The Creeper Man has like creepy woods surrounding this house, and The Dead House has the dead house in it. Also an old school. The 10th challenge is Bud Red. Read a book with red or orange on the cover. Actually, I suppose I should have included purple because like your bud can be purple. Yeah, so Bud Red, pretty standard, like read a book with red on the cover. Kind of an easy one. I did do a lot of cover challenges than normal, but I figured like it's Halloween and part of Halloween is the aesthetic. So, who doesn't love the aesthetic? And also like content challenges are so hard to like figure out. Does this have this in it? Does this have this? But like, challenges. So basically, I guess look at your TBR list and just pick a book from it with red. Challenge 11 is Darkness Within. Read a book in darker conditions than normal, or in the dark completely. So basically kind of like the way I'm filming is kind of in the dark. So this is kind of a challenge that I would only set up as an optional challenge, and also feel free to twist this if you really can't read in the dark. I understand. It's more like setting up like an atmosphere, so like you could put creepy music on instead if you want to like adapt the challenge, like go ahead. This is definitely like a challenge I wouldn't normally put up, except for like this is options, so I thought it might be a fun one. And you know, just like sit with a torch kind of idea. The 12th challenge is Striking Words. Read a book solely on the title. Basically what it sounds like, just pick a book to read just on the title. Obviously from your TBR list you probably have read the description at one point, but I forget all the time the summaries of the books I own, so just like pick up a book and read it based on whatever the title is and just pay that's decent, and you know you can go to the library or just, you know, there's a lot of ways to do this challenge without spending money. I just thought this would kind of be a fun, silly challenge to do. And, you know, don't really have any other title-based challenges. I mean, except I suppose you can say if the bat is written out on a cover, I guess that still counts as like iconic Halloween. But like, specific title challenges. And the 13th challenge is Lucky Number. Read a book with 13 chapters, or 13 in the title. So my initial idea was to have a book that was 13 chapters as the challenge, but I thought that's pretty hard and you'd have to count the chapters of like books before you read them, so accidental spoiling of things. A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. All those books have 13 chapters, so you can do that way. A lot of books have 13 in the title. 13 Shares by Dave Scale is a short story collection about ghosts, mostly. 13 Tale by Diana Seltman, also, it's quite good. To be honest, I'm going to be reading 13 Tales, which is a point horror story collection, so that should be fun. Oh, it's cold getting. And of course, like always, we have our bonus challenge, the F up. Accidentally read a book that doesn't fit any of the challenges is, you know, basically what it sounds like. So it's just like if you go to read a book and you think it fits a challenge and it turns out it doesn't, you've fulfilled this one. Or if you start reading a book and then you're like, oh wait, I'm in the middle of a readathon and this doesn't fit any of the challenges, that counts too. It's more like just like unintentionally do it, you know. It doesn't count if you plan to fulfill it, but also I'm not like gonna go chasing people to question them about them fulfilling this challenge, because that would be weird. Stella is going to do that. But like I said, Stella does nothing. So that is all the challenges for this Strangeathon session. Please tell me if you do a TBR video or TBR post at all. I will be delighted to know how you plan to fulfill my challenges, and tell me how many you do. I thought this Strangeathon should be kind of chill because I know a lot of people are really busy in October if they're like adults. I know for some people, if they're still in school or college, the October holidays might intercourse with the Strangeathon for like 1 week, possibly, depending. So when you're busy not picking potatoes, you can read all the books you want for the Strangeathon. Like have that 1 week to like make everyone else feel bad. Yeah, I don't know how many challenges I will fulfill for this Strangeathon, but I'm gonna try my best. Stella's claiming she's going to do all 14. So I will see you videos next time where I'll actually be going in the dark. Farewell. I do the Strangeathon by myself. I don't really have a lot of feedback on the challenges, so like if some of the challenges are accidentally really repetitive, I have no one else to call me on this. And I made a mistake, and like a really stupid mistake on the like challenge card, and I don't know how I did it, but like the first challenge was the wrong challenge. It was the challenge from like a few Strangeathons ago, but no one was there to tell me I did it wrong, and I'm terrible at proofreading myself until I put it on the internet for everyone else to see. I don't need anyone to tell me I did it wrong, but as soon as I put it on the internet, I figure that's when I see it. A day later.